Hi everyone, my name is Ben Wright, human cartoonist extraordinaire, and welcome to a live stream for making Paranormasight art, as opposed to playing Paranormasight. Once again, I am joined by the amazing Kelsey D Comics and CocomomoArt. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys!
Bang, bang, motherfucker!
Mio's in the chat. Everyone duck!
Whoa, fuck me, kid!
Shut up, criminal! I'm coming for you!
I almost forgot to say this is the first recording, Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025. Very excited to be doing this. Been meaning to do this art stream for a bit now, and also just regularly nerd out about, you know, Paranormasight and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then life kept happening.
It's true. Life kept happening. Well, I'm thinking about it. I'm also putting on some background music so we don't have to feel like we have to talk the whole time.
We could just kind of jam and nosy, etc.,
Yes.
etc.
But it's also a good opportunity to do some final thoughts on Paranormasight. So we'll be doing a little bit of everything with that.
Nice.
Cool.
But in the meantime, I'm going to be working on some very cute fan art.
Yes.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that you're drawing, because I am also drawing stuff right now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works, but it...
Not the birds. Full disclosure, not the birds yet? Question mark. Yeah, I'm figuring out something to do with those. No, I'm catching up on some client work, because with moving house last week, I had to put a lot of work on pause.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're both being productive today.
Yeah.
My hope is...
Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, my hope is to do this and have prints ready before A2CAF, which is in a couple weeks.
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
yes! I actually have some ideas for what I'm going to do for A2CAF.
Nice.
Yes. Very excited.
Does A2CAF allow fan art?
I don't recall there being any stipulations in the agreement against it, but there's not any stipulations specifying, like, how much of your table needs to be, like, a certain percentage original content and a certain percentage fan art. But the implicit idea is that the show is for people who work in comics and who have comics to show off that they have made. Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, fan art is going to make up a very, very small portion of my table. I'm still going to have some prints of it, just a couple. And, you know, it's nice to get some dance stuff in there, too, because that's a part of my nerddom I don't get to do as much.
Heck yeah. Oh, how does
dance count as nerdy?
Thing... I mean, dance can count as nerdy, for sure. I mean, think of Oppa Gangnam Style that was, like, meme-ified there. Ends.
That's true. That's true.
Speaking of meme-ified, sorry, I'm leaning closer to the mic because I'm reaching. No, I dropped it.
Oh no, what'd you drop?
Oh, I'm swatching out my new acrylic paint markers, and I have it sitting next to me. Oh, but it's not on my desk with the Cintiq because there's no room. So I just dropped a marker. But
oh, whoops.
So what I was gonna say, sorry, lost my train of thought. Apparently Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up has broken 1 billion streams on Spotify.
Dang.
It hadn't already reached 1 billion streams?
Nope.
That's pretty amazing, actually. That's more amazing than... Yeah. All right.
For sure.
Good for him. He deserves it.
Yeah. He seems awesome. Like, talk about a guy who owned being memed.
No, he seems like a low-key, like, chill dude, which good on him.
He, the year that Rickroll's really got popular, he was on the Cartoon Network float at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
I saw that. That was so good.
God. So good.
Ooh, Ben, I'm looking at your setup, and I'm realizing something. So,
what's that?
I don't know if you're going to find this helpful, but the way that you have your layout right now, where you have the history, like, listed.
Yeah.
There should be another button up there. I'm going to double check what it's called. Not subtool. Sub view.
Sub view. Okay.
Yeah. Make that window bigger. It doesn't have to be like super big. And then if you hit that open folder, there's a little open folder in that box. Yes. You can upload your reference images up into the corner, and it just hangs out in the upper right-hand corner.
Oh. You know what? That would be very useful for what I'm trying to do right now, because this is taking up some real estate.
Yep. I thought I would bring that up.
Yeah. Let me then real quick make a save of this so I can actually do that.
Yeah. I was like, you know what tool would really help Ben right now? Subview.
You're correct, because I'm trying not to like take up too many of my windows. Save that as a PNG. I'm still gonna need this later because I'm gonna use the eyedrop tool just to steal color.
Oh, you know what though? The fun thing about the subview tool, do you see that there's an eyedropper in that lower left corner?
Oh wow, okay. I am learning stuff today. This is excellent.
Yes, you are. You're welcome.
This is now. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the art education stream. Today we'll be experimenting with Clip Studio Paint.
I'm extra happy because you said it while Haraway was on the screen, and with the yes.
Here, wait. Let me take that again.
We're just casually out here solving mysteries.
Let me take that again. Hello, everybody. Haruo Shigemiya here. I've turned my life around, and now I do art streams.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe, or else I'll get you with my haunting clappers. Just kidding. Unless
you know, you were into that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Oh no, I got paint on my hand.
Oh
no!
Tits.
Well,
You must cut it off.
That's the risk you take when you're working with traditional media.
Alright, I worked too fast, saved in the wrong file. Where are you? There you are.
Hang on, I'll be right back. I'm gonna wash off the paint.
Okay, so can I just like drop in here? There we go. Okay, this will make life a lot easier.
Yes.
Hey, that's great.
Yeah, the other nice thing about the subview tool is that you can upload multiple pictures up in there. You just use the like left and right carets next to the folder icon to navigate between your reference images.
Sorry, which one? Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm back.
I'm teaching Ben so many things about the subview tool
This is
right
so
now.
good. So, yeah, no, we got the sub view and we got the mommy dom view.
Yes.
Oh my god. Jail.
Go directly to horny jail. Do not pass go.
I say jail like I'm not the one like perpetuating all of like the dommy mommy energy.
It's true. All right. Why did I pick somebody who has hats? That was my first mistake.
Oh, what dance are they doing?
They are doing, funnily enough, one of the dances I don't really know. It's called Argentine Tango.
Oh.
If we want, I will get into the nerdy history of all this stuff. I was also a little worried it'd be a bit boring.
No, it's not boring.
All right.
I want to hear about the history of dance.
It's true. And honestly, this particular dance you guys might find some stuff interesting about. For anyone who doesn't know, although it's one of the like 5 interesting things about me I tend to tell people, back in college I did competitive ballroom dance for 4 years, which means, you know, learning very specific styles and things like that. And I learned 2 different versions of tango. I learned, this hat looks weirdly tiny. I learned American tango and international tango. What I learned many years later is that I basically learned, these are perfectly fine versions of dance, but they're basically the culturally appropriated versions of tango.
Ah.
Yeah. So what happened with a lot of the dances that got grouped into ballroom is there were regional versions of them that developed, and very often these dances developed in lower income, lower class areas, and then they got taken by others and are like, well, we need to find a way that we can teach this with more broad appeal in the rules we've already got. So they basically applied waltz technique to tango and standardized it that way.
That sounds a little weird.
Huh.
It's very European, right?
It's very European.
Yes. Tango started out in Argentina, and I have taken I've taken a little bit of Argentine tango, very, very little. But the very first time I did it, my mind kind of got blown because right down to the position you're in, like your frame that you're holding, it is completely different from every other type of dance I'd ever done.
Yeah.
I will also actually... Let me just real quick.
So wait, now that I'm thinking about it, Ben, apologies apologies in advance if this is a cringe question.
Yes.
Do you ever watch Dancing with the Stars?
I've seen very little of it. I personally have never liked it.
So they always do two specific dances. It's either the foxtrot or what's the other one? Did they do the tango?
They probably do tango. They probably do tango, foxtrot, waltz. Basically, any of those fancy ones. Quick step might be in there.
Okay.
I bet they do Viennese waltz because they want to be fancy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I definitely remember hearing them saying "dancing the Viennese waltz" or something like that.
Okay.
So,
thoughts on? So you think you can dance?
I've seen a little bit of that, and I like it way better.
Okay, because I used to be obsessed with that show when I was like in high school.
Yeah.
Really?
The reason is in So You Think You Can Dance, it's all people who actually can dance, who are like trying different styles they're not used to, and that's cool.
Yeah. And they're usually working with like professional choreographers who are like experts in that particular style of dance.
The problem with something like Dancing with the Stars is it's the main problem I have with it is that it's pro-am. It's a professional and an amateur.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
And the thing that gets funny with that is there's it can be really unfair in a lot of ways because there are two different roles that are inherent to partner dance, lead and follow.
Yes.
In most of the places where I dance now and teach, they've taken this aspect away, but like traditionally lead was the male role, follow was the female role, stuff like that. As far as I know, Dancing with the Stars and So You Think You Can Dance both kind of keep to that anyway.
Yeah.
But the thing that's kind of unfair is when you have both parts are equally important, but when you have a really, really good lead, they can really elevate a follow.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So basically, whenever they do Dancing with the Stars, they kind of have... It's unfair because it feels like they're judging people the exact same, but if they have a professional lead or a professional follow and the other person's an amateur, huge disadvantage for the amateur if they're an amateur lead.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I can see that. Because...
Anyway...
Yeah, no, a good lead, like, because, like, I feel like with a lot of, like, partner dances, particularly, like, waltzes, or I'm also thinking about, like, Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, like, your eyes are on Ginger Rogers.
It's not even who's getting the attention.
Yeah.
A lot of being a follow is reacting to what the lead is doing.
Yes.
Because... basically, the lead is steering. They're kind of controlling who's doing what when, but the follow is the one who's reading those signals and acting on them and doing stuff. So if you have someone who's not a very good lead, it's a lot harder for the follow to be understanding what they're trying to do and interpreting it. Whereas if you have someone who's a really good lead, they can communicate to a follow they'd never even danced with before because what they've learned is communication. The thing I just drew, by the way, This is roughly the stance you have in American International Tango. I did a very rough one, but you kind of see how they're connected towards the hips and side.
Yes.
And then they're kind of bent out from the chest.
Yeah.
This is basically all of the fancy ballroom dances. This is the same stance you do for every single one with like only minor variations. This is the position. In Argentine Tango, you'll notice the hips are far away, but they're actually leaning into each other.
Yeah. I can see I see it now.
Yeah. First time I tried that, I'm like, wait, why we're far apart in Tango? And then I immediately went, oh, but our faces are like right next to each other. That's actually kind of awesome.
Yes.
But it's definitely weird.
Ooh, that's gonna be okay. Oh.
So yeah, I did also tell some of the staff for the Fanime black and white ball, which is the thing that was referenced before I did this weekend, that I'd be doing this. And a lot of them know this dance well enough to teach it. So they're probably going to end up in the chat at some point heckling me.
Oh, heck yeah.
I look forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so full context, I don't really watch or keep up with Dancing with the Stars. But sometimes, you know, when you're at work and you're sitting at a computer from like 9 to 5, you just listen to random stuff to get through the day.
Yeah.
I was listening to Watch Mojo's top 20 Dancing with the Stars moments. And almost always, no matter how many times they redo this countdown for whatever reason, top 3 always has to include Bindi Irwin when she was on Dancing with the Stars.
I mean, Bindi's awesome. All the Irwins are awesome.
Yeah, if you watch nothing else from Dancing with the Stars, you have to watch her tribute dance to her dad. It is actually like really sad.
Oh no.
And apparently Robert's going to be on this season.
That's pretty cool.
So I'm like, I'm like legally obligated to support him.
I don't want to be clear. Like, I have some issue with it because of like background I have in dance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But enjoy what you want to enjoy. I am very much I'm not shaming anybody who happens to like this stuff.
I'm not going to yuck on your yums.
Yeah.
No, I was just asking because really my only exposure to dance apart from doing like High School Musicals was I did ballet up until 6th grade. But that's really
hardcore.
Yeah, I actually quit right after I passed the test that would have gotten me into point. And they're like, you passed, you can advance to point class. And I'm like, great, bye. And I quit and did horseback riding.
So you didn't see the point to it.
Yeah.
You gave me that one. That was too easy.
Well, I think at the time, point kind of scared me because the ballerinas who were on point, they would tell all these scary stories about like your toenails breaking or like your toe breaking.
Oh yeah, no, I have a story about my cousin who broke her toe when she was on point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't about that.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who started in ballet, and it's like, yeah, that part scares me.
Yep.
You know what's funny? I will still, like, especially after watching Prince on YouTube, I'm like, I could do ballet again. But I would want to do it very casually. I wouldn't want to be like, because back in the day, like when I did ballet from kindergarten to 6th grade, it kind of worked like the school year. So you started classes in the fall. You danced all the way through spring, and the end of the year culminated in a recital. And it was absolutely mandatory. Like, you had to do the recital, unless you had, like, doctor's permission. And I think it was very intense. And for a kid who's in, like, 6th grade, you get burnt out.
Oh, yes. Yeah, no. Ballerinas, they burn out early if they stick to it.
All right, I need to double check something. So the other annoying thing about drawing dance stuff is it's very hard to find good photos online because they're all staged.
Yeah.
So I actually have a paused and slowed down YouTube video up as my reference.
Good call.
Yeah.
I think that's the better way to go about it, especially for dance stuff.
for movement.
Yeah, I have
Right.
definitely done that. When I was at SCAD, one of the assignments we had was we had to do some kind of movement from point A to point B, and my dumb butt was like, I want to animate ballet, and I wanted.
no.
Speaking of butt,
Finally, we get to see Richter Kai's ass.
I appreciate that his booty fits so perfectly in that preview.
In that
It's true.
viewfinder, yes.
here. I'll cut back and forth for a bit.
Speaking of Richter Kai,
Richter Kai!
Richter Kai, like a bird, he's super fly.
Richter Kai! Yes, anyway, what about him?
Oh, so we talked about it briefly at the end of the last ParaNormaSight stream, but what were your guys' thoughts on both the story and the characters of ParaNormaSight? Because basically, that was kind of like your guys' first experience with like a visual novel, right?
Not mine, but
I mean, would Watanahara and the Great Blue Sea count as a visual novel, though?
Yes, I would say it does.
Then not my first experience with a visual novel. First experience with a Square Enix visual novel, though.
yeah, and I've actually done a lot of visual novels before, but this one, honestly, by far best thing I've streamed.
Nice.
And I mean, I've streamed Danganronpa 1 and 2 in their entirety, and I'm like, nope, I'd still rather do this one again.
Oh yeah. If you liked ParaNormaSight, you will heavily enjoy Project Eden's Garden. It's the formula of Danganronpa. It's basically a fan-made Danganronpa game, but it was made completely for free. Like, they make no money off of it. It is literally a passion project, and they take everything about Danganronpa that was kind of meh and got rid of it.
Oh, you told me about this one, yeah.
Yes. If you guys ever want to stream it, I'm down to stream it.
100%. We definitely need to get more games on the list.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, honestly, I should have gotten the Monster Prom thing already reposted. But
It happens.
It
That's
happens,
okay.
yeah.
I actually spent my time catching up on your mouthwashing playthrough, I'll be honest.
Oh,
That was a good one. Yeah, I just posted the
so
replay
good.
of that.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I need to make a print for mouthwashing.
Oh boy. Is it just take responsibility in all caps?
You know, I would need to rewatch a playthrough because I feel like a lot of people focus on take responsibility. There are a ton of phenomenal quotes from that game.
Honestly, there's a lot of really good things that you could potentially make art out of. I'm already picturing just Anya in the fetal position with like all of the paraphernalia of mouthwashing just surrounding her, and she's just got this look on her face of like, I can't.
Everyone focuses, I mean, take responsibility is a core point of the game, like it's the point of the game,
Yeah.
but the monologues that stick out to me the most from that game are Swansea's monologue and the scene with Curly and Anya looking for the dead pixel.
Yeah. Those are great. I actually really like the idea of if you make any art for mouthwashing, there's a dead pixel on one spot of it.
Ooh.
Oh, please put that there, yes.
I'm
That'd
gonna
be
write
cool.
that down. I'm writing that down.
Yeah.
Where's a sticky note? My kingdom for a sticky note.
You should be at my place. I've got a stack of sticky notes and I'm not using them. Oh man, I feel like I've just had a miracle happen.
Oh.
Because Tattle is not a lap cat by nature, and I put her up on my lap and she started doing elevator button scritchies, and I'm like,
Aww.
do you actually like my lap now?
Was she doing biscuits?
Not quite biscuits, but she was enjoying herself, and I'm like, oh goodness. Ben, have you been seeing the latest Game Changer episodes?
I have.
So, when, I think it was part of Iffy's challenge, where it was like, how long can you keep a cat in your lap? And
Yes.
And the cat Mayday started doing this weird, like, kind of like screechy, not biscuits, but like doing, like, treating him almost like a scratching post.
Yeah.
Tattle was bordering on that a little bit.
Aww.
Yeah. I feel like I could probably ace the who can keep a cat in their lap the longest challenge.
Probably.
Yeah. I
would, but you guys wouldn't respect me anymore. I'd use the Brennan method of just yoink.
Of just the bacon grease.
Oh my god.
Well, no, like just kind of holding the cat there. Like they made the Predator joke about him. It was great.
Yep. Oh, Katie was the worst offender of that.
Shrinking the mouth.
Actually, I feel like my dad. I was thinking who would win, my dad or me, and now that I think about it, I think my dad would win.
Oh goodness!
Because Gigi has now taken to he'll do the sploot. Because my dad puts his legs up on the Eames chair. Because in our living room we have we just fixed our Fraser Eames chair. Wrong word. And it's got an ottoman, and whenever my dad puts his feet up on the ottoman, it makes a bridge, and Gigi will sit in the bridge for hours.
Goodness.
Oh yeah. So going back to the question I had said. So you guys both like the story.
Yes.
Yes.
What we had briefly talked about who our favorite characters were, but now that we've had time to like sit on the stream, and go back and like watch things, has your guys' opinions changed on who your favorite characters are?
Honestly, my favorite to perform was definitely Nejima. I would say favorite character, period, Jun Ario.
He's a good boy.
He's pretty great.
He is such a goddamn himbo. I love him.
He's a himbo who has really sweet moments.
He does.
Yeah.
But also really wackadoo moments of like, don't worry, boss, I'll make you want to get a good whiff.
Yeah, like, I still can't get over that.
That part was just so unhinged.
It's so unhinged. And I'm like, June, what are you...
like June. It's not even June. June, it's not even June yet. Like,
Yeah.
It's not even June yet. I just got that. Okay.
Because it's Pride anyway.
It's true.
Yeah.
I just had I had random straight guy moment. It was like, wait, what's June?
That's probably the most himbo thing that you've done.
Yeah, I think my favorite character, both to voice and just favorite character in general, is probably still Tetsuo.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Oh,
I had a lot of fun with him. I'm always a sucker for the character that in the supernatural story actually knows what's up, and it's more a pain in the ass than anything else.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
Like, oh god, another day at the office. God damn.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's a character in contemporary horror that I would know that's like that.
Well, I think one example I always go to is Hellboy.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Hellboy
Yeah.
is very much like, oh, god damn it, it's another Tuesday.
Yeah. I'm also a sucker for the characters that you just pound into and finally they go, okay, my turn, and they hit back just as hard.
Oh,
yeah.
Like the guys you don't want to play Rochambeau with, I always call them.
Yes.
There is a character in Higurashi that you will love for that exact reason.
Man, so many games that we're teasing right now that we're going to have to do at some point.
So I think for me, Favorite character to perform? Definitely, it went from being Mio to Haruwe. Mio is still my favorite character, period. I adore her. And I'm so glad that she's getting even more focused in the spin-off manga. But Haruwe was so much fun to perform, and I'm really glad that people had so much fun, like, with that.
Yes. Oh my god, that was such a fun character to do.
Yeah.
And interact with.
I will say the duo of Haruwe and Richter is probably my favorite. Definitely my favorite ship.
Yes.
Honestly, yeah, favorite duo, where one of them is like this like deadpan, I am dead inside, and the other one is like, I'm so excited about bird stickers!
Well, you know, it's funny because one of the big things with those two for me is how much it felt like, even outside of the romantic chemistry, which 100% was there. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
But outside of that, it felt like I really liked how Richter basically seemed like he was taking care of a time bomb. Like,
the whole time. The whole time.
Because, so one of the things that I thought was interesting is how often we kind of talked about or treated Richter like he was a himbo, which I don't actually think is that accurate.
No, not really. He is kind of a smart guy.
I would argue he might be the smartest person in the game.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, there's an argument to be made about that, for sure.
Yeah. He, because the big thing is, it's amazing that he actually figures out so much stuff starting from no information.
So that actually made me think of, like, there used to be, I don't know where it is, there used to be a Venn diagram of himbo.
Yes.
And it was like, you have your himbos, which are kind of, you know, really attractive, but not as smart. Then you have your himbos who are, like, they drink their respect women juice. Like, they're more intuitive.
Yes.
And then you have your himbos who are intelligent.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then in the middle is, God, I need to look at this diagram. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah. If Kronk or Gallo, then what is the purpose of this chart?
Yeah, no. So there's a parody of I Need a Hero on YouTube called I Need a Himbo.
I have that saved in a playlist.
Yep.
Of course you do.
It came out right. It came out right after Promare did, and Gallo like just took up the entire last half of the video.
Yep. As he should have.
Yes.
Although there was that really sneaky thing where like the human form of Shrek from Shrek 2 also kind of faded into the frame just as it was cutting out.
Here we go. Okay. So I misinterpreted it. So himbo was the center of the Venn diagram, but the opposite ends were hunk, decent guy, and jock. And it's like, if you're kind and beefy, that's a hunk. If you're beefy and stupid, that's a jock. If you're kind and stupid, that's just a decent man. If you have all three, then you're a himbo.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, no, that tracks.
Why is Bernard from the Rescuers in this diagram?
No, I remember there was an overly sarcastic productions video about himbos, and somebody asked Red, they were like, "Where's Vash the Stampede on this chart?" And she was like, "Vash is too sad to be a himbo," and I'm like, "Excuse me?"
No, incorrect.
Incorrect. I wholeheartedly disagree.
I may not be an expert on himbos, but yeah, that guy's a himbo.
Oh, absolutely he is. Although it depends on the iteration of Vash you're talking about. I am talking about the OG Vash, not the one from Trigun Stampede. Somebody actually did a little like doodle comparing the two different versions of Vash. The one from Trigun Stampede is like, "Sir, I promise I'll have her back home tonight before 6 o'clock." And Vash from the original Trigun is like, "Sir, I have lost your daughter."
I have not watched. I have watched some of the original Trigun. I have not finished it in its entirety.
I have the entire DVD set if you ever want to watch it.
Yes.
Honestly, I did a rewatch of it not long ago. It's a good one.
It's really, really good.
I have been in the mood to watch classic animes. My brain has been severely Wolfstrain pilled the past few weeks. Talk about a perfect himbo. Hub from Wolfstrain, criminally underrated himbo. Like,
yeah,
get yourself a man like Hub.
I mean, his name alone is Hub. With a name like that, if you are not himbo incarnate, what are you doing?
Oh my god. So, for context, today was a product research day at my job, which is basically you go out into different stores and you see like what products are out and you see like what's trending. So there was a sign in Hobby Lobby that just said Paradise. And I texted it to my sister and I go, "There's no such thing." And her response, she goes, "That's hanging up in the wall of every himbo in Wolfstream, or not himbo, god damn it, and of every noble in every noble house. That's hanging there. It's their live, laugh, love sign."
Yes, Paradise question mark.
And I'm just like, and then we were talking about Hub, and she goes, "That man could not be more divorced in his entire life."
Oh my god, no.
But yeah, I need to watch Trigun.
Yes, you do. Oh my god, yes.
I actually need to take a look at the chat again, because...
Oh, I had chat going. Where's that?
Yep. No, I was curious because I know Ariane and I have had some conversations, TM, about Trigun.
Like, does Ariane feel very strongly about Trigun one way or the other?
Well, Ariane went down a rabbit hole with it a little while ago.
Okay, gotcha.
And had never seen the original and watched through the original, and I may or may not have done some trolling that is spoilery, so I'm not going to say it. But
oh, gotcha. I think I remember this conversation now.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. Here's a little hint for you. Anyway.
Yes.
I just saw the quote pop up on stream. Wolfwood is my baby.
Yeah, that means nothing. Don't worry about it. Anyway.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. It's like, oh my god. If you've seen Cowboy Bebop, you know what this means. My ex-roommate Alex to Cowboy Bebop because she had never watched it. We watched it all the way through to the end, and then at the very end, she just turns to me and goes, "So Spike didn't die, right?"
Oh my god.
Like, no, absolutely not.
So fun fact, I just recently finished Cowboy Bebop in its entirety for the first time.
Ooh.
It took me
Does it hold up?
years. It holds up phenomenally.
Yeah.
Certain
Really
episodes on their own, like the one that got me the most. This is a very obscure one. The one that actually impacted me the most was the one where I forget what's happening, but Spike gets separated from the crew and he's on like a junkyard planet and he meets these people who are repairing an old rocket.
Yeah.
And it turns out it's Columbia. It's the Columbia ship because in that universe, this was before the Columbia shuttle disaster happened. So in that timeline, Columbia made it back to Earth, and the portrait of the pilots it's on the ship. And like all the comments on YouTube were like, in this universe, they made it home, and I was just like, God, that's messing me up so bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I think I've got the pencils done.
Ooh.
Nice.
I like it.
The hat.
Need some work, yeah. I was gonna fix it in inks.
Try flipping the canvas, because like I'm looking at it and I'm like, there's something like intuitively, I know that there's something up with that hat. That if you can just flip the canvas in some way.
I think
Is there a flip the canvas button in Clip Studio, or do I just need to go?
There is a flip the canvas button. So what you do is if you go to, I'm trying to figure out the name of the window here. If you go to the navigator window,
I actually don't know where that one is. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Got it.
So, yep. And
oh,
then,
yeah.
Yep, there you go.
How long has that been there?
You know, the main problem is the hat's too far forward. I think I can pull it back, and that's going to help.
Okay, cool.
I was going to say that, but I'm like... What?
I am blowing all your dang minds.
For anyone who doesn't draw, like, one of the things that's funny about a lot of these drawing programs is there are so many features that you don't know about if you don't use them.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what? I'm also going to clean up. If I give the back a little more of a slant to it.
Richter, why is Richter looking at the camera like that?
He's not looking at the camera. Hold on, I can fix that a little bit.
It looks like it looked like he just noticed the camera was there and he was just like, huh?
Yeah, let me get that eye adjusted a little bit, because now... Right there. Can you tell what it is?
Oh, shit!
I'm so glad I managed to sneak that on there and you didn't notice it.
I like it.
I noticed that you drew something blocky there, and I was like, we'll put a pin in that. I'm going to double check what that is later.
I really feel like there is a degree to which Haraway was thinking, what if I just, like, snuck a lighter in his pocket?
Yes, oh my god. You know she was thinking it.
Yeah.
Was it a third degree? Not one of my better ones, but I tried.
She gives him a she just writes down a list with a bunch of insults on it, slips it in his pocket. It's like, what's with all these sick birds? Oh no!
So going back to characters,
Yes.
a character that I wound up enjoying a lot more than I thought I would, especially in post, voicing Ayane was really fun.
Yes. Oh my god. Isn't it fun being an antagonist?
Yeah, and because what I was trying to do is, from the get-go, I wanted to do this thing where, like, half the time she sounds very fake, which is why I was leaning heavily into the Valley Girl accent. But then I was telling myself, in any of the scenes with that are more serious, I want to drop the accent and try to go for a more, like, the mask has fallen off and she's just playing it straight.
Yeah.
I don't know if it worked all the time or if it just sounded like I forgot what the accent was, but that last confrontation with Tetsuo, I enjoyed the hell out of that.
Hell yeah.
I've definitely done characters that code switch. That can be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, one of my earliest voice acting idols, Kevin Conroy, the guy who did Batman for the longest time.
King!
My favorite thing about his version of Batman was that he would code switch.
Yes!
And I thought that was the coolest thing on the planet.
I love that.
Yes.
Sorry, I got very excited. We started talking about Batman the Animated Series, and I was just like, yes.
Yeah, B-Toss. Okay, wait, why are you doing...
I still need to finish that in its entirety. I need to get the whole series.
Yeah, I've watched it through a couple times. It's definitely... Early episodes are a little rough, but once they really get into it, it gets good.
I've never seen it, actually.
Any of it?
Like, pretty much any of it. Nope. I would see the opening as a kid, and I would be like, it doesn't seem like my thing, and I would just kind of change the channel.
Yeah, no, absolutely fair. I will say that it's an interesting one to check out from a historical perspective for history of animation, because it really did change a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah, no.
It was like the first primetime show, because it would air in primetime slots alongside live action shows.
Ooh. Okay. Very cool.
Yeah. It's funny, a while back I did a full watch through of the DC animated universe.
Oh shit, how'd that go?
It was very good. What was funny though is the show that I ended up seeing last, as in, like, not the I actually think I've done more than one watch through of it at this point, but the one that I had never seen before that I finally saw has now become one of my favorite things on there, and a lot of people have not seen it.
If
That's
you say
Static
Batman
Shock.
Beyond, oh my God, Static Shock.
Yes.
Ooh.
That's one I completely missed because of how they were marketing it.
Yeah, no, I believe it.
How did I get into that? Static Shock was one of those shows that, like, so because I was a WB kid,
Yeah.
I would watch Pokemon and then Yu-Gi-Oh! When Yu-Gi-Oh! Was airing. I would sometimes watch Static Shock, but it wasn't 100% on my radar.
Yeah.
It's one of those shows in hindsight that I'm like, I missed out.
Yes. That's one I recommend to everybody check out. It's kind of a rough watch at the beginning. I just realized I've been drawing Richter in the Haraway thing.
Oops.
But yeah, it's a little bit of a rough watch at the beginning because it's such a different style, and that really threw me. But man, the writing was on point.
I also appreciate that it tackled some heavy issues.
Oh yeah, and
There's even a banned episode, which I believe
Ben, I think you're still drawing in the Haraway Inks layer.
You are drawing in the Haraway ink layer.
that's hilarious. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? A little magic trick.
I was about to suggest just merge the layers and then make a new one.
There you go.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Yep.
Work
Sorry.
Was-
Sorry
Was-
to interrupt you.
Was the band episode the school shooting one?
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh.
And
It's
handle
good.
it- yeah. They handle it in a way. It's interesting because there are 2 episodes of kids shows that involved gun violence that were banned. The first was the Static Shock episode. The second was one of the very first episodes of Gargoyles.
Really?
Yeah, and that one
Also
has
an amazing
been-
show.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm finally watching that through for the first time. If I need you not to judge me for this. I realized very late stage that I am like I'm into monsters. If I had grown up watching Gargoyles, there'd be no hope for me. I would be so monster pilled because of Goliath.
You know, that's fair though, because Goliath is like, whew, yeah.
I'm just imagining you watching this, waiting for him to break into song.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. As far as I know, he does not sing in Gargoyles, but I know why you're saying that because he's voiced by Keith David.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's funny because I loved Dr. Facilier and Princess and the Frog, and
Yeah.
I knew who Keith David was because I watched Something About Mary when I was way too young.
He's in that?
Oh boy.
He is Mary's stepdad.
Oh, interesting.
He's the stepdad in the beginning.
I've never actually seen it.
It is one of those comedies that, in the vacuum of its time period, it's hilarious. There are parts that have aged like milk, but
I feel like that's pretty typical for the average Ben Stiller comedy film.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The only exception to that I have found is maybe Mystery Men.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, we are watching that. We are watching the shit out of that movie. I love that movie to bits. It's so cheesy and it's got so many good one-liners, and it's the kind of movie that would absolutely piss off a right-wing person for being too woke.
Wait,
Because it's like a multicultural like gang of mystery fighters, and it's great.
wait.
They do have the one guy called Blue Raja who's a white man, but
They address that.
they address that. It's actually very funny, but
They address that, and it's funny. And also, I do appreciate that they pull a subversive thing on the Sphinx, because the Sphinx is played by a Native American actor. And the thing that they do with the Sphinx is they actually do a subversion of like the wise Native American trope, and they have him say things like, "When you doubt your powers, you give power to your doubts." And like they just absolutely ham that up, and it's great.
I will also say I didn't actually realize he was Native American.
Yeah.
Which I kind of cool. It's kind of cool they didn't call it out for that. Like, they didn't try to make it the trope
Oh yeah,
in the same way. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great. I love it.
Was Ben Stiller in Tropic Thunder?
Yes, he was.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I couldn't tell if I was having like an aneurysm. I'm like, he was in that, right? That was him, right?
I actually
I've been
watched
told
that
I need to see
movie
that.
I actually watched that movie for an Intro to Film 101 class back when I was still in school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I don't remember the context for why.
I was about to say,
Because,
that's
like-
a weird one for, like, film history. Like, who cares?
No, it's
no
not
offense
film
to that
history.
movie.
Not film history, just intro to film. I'm pretty sure that they included it in the list for like some technical reason or other. Because also in the roster was the Royal Tannenbaums, the Wes Anderson film, which which for the record was my first ever Wes Anderson film. And at first I thought I hated the guy. And then I watched Grand Budapest Hotel and I went, no, the Royal Tannenbaums is just awful.
Yeah.
So, wild enough, that's my exact experience with Wes Anderson.
Why is that?
Where you watched like the Royal Tannenbaums and you were like, wow, this guy sucks, and then you watch Grand Budapest Hotel and you're like, oh no, never mind.
Is that is that just the Wes Anderson experience? Because the same thing happened to me.
Well, here's what's interesting. I've met people who love the Royal Tenenbaums, and I figured out part of the trick is it's not a good intro movie for Wes Anderson.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Like that's sort of the main problem is that he's a very quirky director. It's like the first David Lynch film I saw was Mulholland Drive. That's not a good first David Lynch film.
No.
I watched it with my parents. Big mistake.
Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, no. David Lynch, like, I don't know. I haven't seen too many works by David Lynch, but even I know not to start with Mulholland Drive. I started with Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks is actually a great one to start with.
Yes. It's a good, like, appetizer for the kinds of things that he's, like, known for, and that is his, like, oeuvre.
Yeah. I will also say it took... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
You know what's disappointing? The restaurant Twin Peaks has nothing to do with David Lynch.
What?
That somehow feels very Lynchian.
Because you know what Twin Peaks is. The restaurant chain, right?
Not off the top of my head, no.
It's just Hooters. Hooters with a different coat of paint.
So it's more like Mulholland Drive. I mean... That's rude. But... Yeah.
Let's be real though. There was the thing in Twin Peaks where spoilers for people who have not watched Twin Peaks. It's revealed that Laura Palmer, the girl who basically was found murdered in episode 1, it was discovered that she was basically like a teenage girl running off to this like bordello thing.
Yeah.
Run by her father and was basically being pimped out for drugs.
Ugh.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Twin Peaks goes places.
Yes, it does.
I watched it through, I think I got halfway through season 2, and I just burned out hard.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. Season 2 is where... Honestly, season 2, episode 1 is where I was like, okay, this is the David Lynch experience that I was expecting.
I had a very funny... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
It's just that episode 1 was, like... of season 2, it opens with Dale being shot laying on the ground bleeding in the hotel room, and the fucking busboy comes in and he's this elderly man and he's just like, how are you doing tonight? I brought your warm glass of milk. Oh, your phone's off the receiver, let me hang that up for you, and just moving very, very slowly, and the whole time Dale's just like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna bleed out on the carpet. That's fine.
Here's the funny thing. You started describing that scene.
Yeah.
Instantly, I suddenly realized they parody that in the English dub of the Digimon movie.
That's amazing.
So for context, if you have not seen the Digimon movie...
Oh, no, I have. It's been a while,
I have
but
not.
I have.
Keep going.
So, for Ben, so the Digimon movie was actually the first 3 movies of the Digimon franchise, photo bashed together into one viewing experience for English audiences.
Excellent.
They have since corrected that. You can buy the movies dubbed and unabridged. But there's a scene where Tai is trying to call all of the characters together during the summer when they're all spread out. And he gets a hold of the one character's grandmother. And I can quote this verbatim. So he's like, he goes, "Hi, this is Tai. You're selling ties." "No, ma'am, my name is Tai. Are Matt and TK there?" "What a coincidence. Those are my grandkids." "I know. Are they there?" "Uh-huh. Right now?" "Mm-hmm. Can I talk to them?" "I'd love to talk to them too. They're here visiting." "No, I need to speak with them." "Okay, I'll tell them." Hangs up phone. "Kids!"
That's kind of amazing.
That is so
Absolute
David Lynch.
cinema.
That's so David Lynch, though. Yes. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yep. Which, by the way, I think I've mentioned this before, but Gravity Falls' point of inspiration was Twin Peaks.
Oh yeah, they said they wanted to make Twin Peaks for kids.
Yes, basically that's what Gravity Falls is.
They failed because it made too much sense.
Yes. Yeah.
I say with love, I love Gravity Falls.
Well, here's the thing about here's the thing about Twin Peaks. It does make sense. It's just that it makes sense in like a look at the donut, not the whole sort of way. And a whole lot of people, for one reason or another, have been conditioned to just analyze the whole and not the donut.
You said that. All I could think of was the monologue about donuts from Knives Out.
That's a good monologue. There was a very... my experience with Twin Peaks, I was watching it shortly after college. I was back living at home and watching it on Netflix. And I was talking to my dad about it. And this was in season 2 at this point. And he said, I never watched Twin Peaks. Isn't it like that soap opera? And I just stopped and went, no, it's not a soap opera. It's... Wait a minute.
It's a David Lynch soap opera.
It's a David Lynch soap opera. And it kind of changed how I was watching the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know what just hit me?
Yeah, it's a send-up of the soap opera genre, yes?
A great print idea would be either the Paranormasight characters in a Gravity Falls style, or the Gravity Falls characters in the Paranormasight style.
Oh my god. I kind of want to tackle Gravity Falls characters in the Paranormasight style.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. Kind of want to do that now.
I'm thinking about it, and there's only one character from that I desperately want to see in the Paranormasight style, and that is Grunkle Stan.
Yes!
Yeah, you were thinking
he would have such Tetsuo energy.
I need to see Seuss.
I need to see Seuss in this style, too.
Seuss will be great. God. He'll be great, dude.
Yeah. I'm here too. Go home, Seuss. You got it, bud.
I love the part where Seuss's abuela goes, I need to know that you're married so I can rest peacefully in heaven. Oh, you mean with Granddad? No, he's not there. Deliberately looks down.
Ooh, dark.
So I actually changed the pose here, by the way, like right before the stream happened, because I found a better stance, and also it's got the clappers out more.
Ooh. Clap.
Which seemed appropriate.
Yes.
So like, kick that butt out more.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Show off that booty.
It's true. That booty. It's amazing I had a stance that didn't show off the booty originally, because Argentine Tango is very booty forward.
No, you mean booty back?
That's part of why this looks wrong. Okay. Fix that part. On the fly. Nope, wrong pen type. Behave!
Oh yeah. But going back to voices,
Yes.
You were talking about tones. What was the term you used to describe Kevin Conroy?
Code shifting.
Code shifting.
Or switching,
sorry.
yeah.
I keep mentioning this this game, and I swear this is not me being like, we need to play this next. There are so many code shifts in Higurashi. It's like, it's so good. You have, and that's even more impressive because you have a character who goes from being like, super cutesy and super sweet, and then she goes, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
Within
I
this
love
game
that kind of
scene.
stuff.
I love it.
I always associate it with Kevin Conroy, mainly because, like, he's the one who really perfected doing that for Batman, and nobody else gets it right.
Yes, you are so
Like,
right.
Everyone makes fun of the Batman voice from the Christian Bale movies.
Yeah.
Because he's going, like, so deep in gravity, like that. You don't need to do all that.
Yeah, no. You really
All you
don't.
have to do is just, like, change your manners very slightly, and nobody will be able to tell.
I love this skit from the era when Dark Knight first came out, where it's the interrogation scene, and the guy
Is this the one? Is this where the throat cancer one?
Yeah, and then it's that, and then Joker's like, "I can't understand you. I will tell you things, but you need to enunciate. There's a lot of hitting. A lot of hitting is happening, but not communicating."
I know the exact one you're talking about. It's so good. It's like, look, my name's Steve. I'm going through some stuff. I'd love to tell you this, but I can't understand what you're saying. Also, I think you need to see a doctor because you may have throat cancer. I don't have throat cancer. Punches him. So good.
And like as he's punching him, like the makeup in this skit is just wearing off.
Yeah.
I do really like I quite like the depth of field that you got going on with Richter's foot coming forward. You couldn't see it, but I was like pointing on my Cintiq, like you could see what I was talking about.
I just realized something funny. Let me take a quick look at my reference picture. Yep, I screwed up.
What did you do?
Honestly, it looks fine, and no one would know if I didn't point it out, but I'm going to point it out anyway, because it just shows that stuff's okay. The left leg was supposed to be the straight one, and the pencils were just so cluttered that I mixed it up.
Well, here's why it happened. There is no straight bone in that man's body.
Yeah.
He's in the only het ship. He has nothing but straight bones that we've seen.
He could be bi, we don't know.
It's true, we don't know. What happened in the police academy stayed in the police academy.
No, there's more than one straight ship. Well, assuming that nobody is like a flavor. Hajime and Mayu.
Yes, I love those two. I love those.
That's
two
true.
So freaking
That's
much.
true.
I need a prequel comic about their relationship.
Oh my god, right?
Also, of course, there's the other one, Ayane and the dweeby dude.
Oh.
Nabagaki?
Nabagaki, that's it.
Yeah, you're talking about Nabagaki. This fucking loser.
Who
I always felt a little bad for him.
Oh, he got played.
He got played
yeah.
so hard.
He did. He really did. Like, I could kind of tell when reading his biography, I was like, oh no, this poor guy's being used.
I mean,
And
he
then
did.
the game
He was
progressed.
extremely willing to murder, so, like...
He was, yeah.
And he did... I'm trying to remember, because he hit Michio, and he drove away initially, and Ayane was the one who said, we need to go back and check if she's alive. So he was... Not that it absolves Ayame of any guilt, but he was perfectly content with, like, just hitting a girl and leaving her to die.
I don't know about perfectly content, but he was definitely freaking out.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair. And he was definitely haunted.
He was, for sure. In
Yeah,
every timeline, he was like, oh my god, I can't get rid of the visions of this girl!
Yeah, no, he definitely got screwed over, but I don't know. He really is a funny character because he's kind of a nothing in so many different ways.
Just a bit, yes.
Was his bio the one that talked about, like, the only good relationship he had was with, like, his housekeeper?
Yep, that was him.
Yeah. See, that's the thing I really like about the game is, like, they do a good job of making characters that you can empathize with, but not, like...
Agree with.
Yes. I'm trying to remember. Kelsey used a very specific quote.
Empathy is not endorsement.
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Yep. I can't take credit for that one. That one's from Innuendo Studios on YouTube.
Yeah. I will say I also feel that way. I recently had a conversation with somebody about mouthwashing related to that.
Oh, yeah. Where empathy is
well,
not...
because we were
that game is very explicitly empathy is not endorsement.
Yes. Like, we were having an interesting discussion specifically about Curly, the guy who ends up burned.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes, Curly.
Yeah.
Oh, that poor bastard.
That's the thing. I empathize with him a lot. This person was arguing he was as bad as Jimmy, or at least close. And I'm like, I have trouble with this stance.
Yeah, no, I can kind of see the argument, but no.
I understand where this person was coming from. I think they made an interesting argument. I spent several days just thinking about this a lot because I was like, what is my opinion on this? And I think part of the thing that makes it tough for me is I actually have empathy for Jimmy and his situation. Not Jimmy. Curly and his situation.
I was gonna be like,
nope.
Plead your case, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, much, much less so for Jimmy. So there is a difference to me, but...
Yeah. I think...
The points that were made I thought were very interesting. A lot of it was about the fact that he kind of set up a system that allowed this to happen.
Yeah, and...
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
It's a combination of he set up a system that allowed it to happen, and it was also, like... I'm trying to figure out how to articulate this. He wanted to believe so badly that his best friend was incapable of doing something so horrible that it led to accidental compliance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he was so, like, he's like, I know him, like, we can figure this out. He wouldn't do this. And it was like, he already did.
Yep.
And, like, at this point, it's damage control.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's part of what made it interesting to me was we don't actually know what he was going to do when they got to their destination. Because he said we can fix this and things like that. He had the one person who is co-pilot he's going to be stuck with for several months, and there is no alternative. So I kind of wonder if he was lying is the main thing. If that makes sense.
Wow, that is... Sorry, I got distracted because I was testing out the gold metallic Art X acrylic marker, and wow, that's metallic!
Okay. I got scared because both of you got quiet, and I'm like, did I just say something incredibly offensive?
No, you're good, you're good.
I honestly zoned out of the conversation for a second because I was like, how can we circle this back to Paranormasight?
Yeah, let's get back to Paranormasight. I feel like we can only talk about so much on the stream without going back over trigger warnings when it comes to mouthwashing.
Oh my gosh, right? Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, there's a fair bit of trigger warningness with Paranormasight too, so...
That's true. You know,
like, I feel like there could have been, like, in that final timeline, there definitely could have been something about, like, hey, John Iuchi's a bastard.
Yeah, it's funny watching back over it, because, like, they don't address that directly.
Yeah,
It is implied that at least Yako finds out. Which hopefully means something happens.
Yeah, but it's... Ugh. Yeah, no, they definitely should have had some kind of closure to that. Maybe it'll be in the manga spinoff. I have no idea.
Or in the next Paranormasight game, which I hope they do.
Yes.
Are they doing another Paranormasight game?
They hinted at it. When you find that final file that's from Nakagoshi that says, see you in the next Paranormasight.
Mm-hmm. I would love to see more Paranormasight content.
I would too. It would be amazing. Another thing that I realized, there's something that never got actually answered, and I'm curious what y'all's thoughts are on it.
Ooh.
Who was the storyteller?
Ooh. Yeah, no, that was never answered. I'm one of those people that's perfectly fine with some questions never having an answer.
Yeah, I kind of like that he has a very Drosselmeyer-esque quality to him. Drosselmeyer from Princess Tutu, to be specific.
God, that bastard.
Yeah, I like that. I just kind of like that he's just a dude who's there, and he's clearly messing with things.
Yes,
but he's not really doing it. Like, you don't really get the sense that he's doing it for a specific reason. He's just like, I'm just here for the fun of it.
Gotcha. That is admittedly a very fun type of character.
Oh yeah, he can be. I also kind of like the idea of and this is just spitballing here, but I don't think there's any way to tie this in. If he were in some way connected to Nakagoshi.
That's my theory.
Ooh.
I think he's. My guess is that he's Nakagoshi.
That would be.
And that's why Nakagoshi wasn't available for the case, because it's like, I'm off doing this stuff.
I'm having more mojitos.
I got it.
He could also be the not Ronin, but the I think the daimyo from the original timeline.
Oh, that's a good one.
Because he was in the mask the whole time, and he has white hair. And it's like, that usually is like color symbolism for royalty, like a prince. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was the daimyo from the original timeline, but that's spitballing. It's
kind of a cool idea, though. I like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of timelines, one of the things I really like about PARANORMASIGHT, because a lot of games with branching narratives, especially games with branching narratives that cycle back to the inciting incident, I like that the true ending did not undo all of the progress that you made through the game.
Yes.
Like, I
really
mean,
appreciate that.
Jonouchi was still alive. That sucked. But I do think that the implication is once Yako and Mio went to the police, like, I think the implication was he was never going to hurt anybody again. But in so many AAA games with branching storylines, you run the risk of, like, the true ending undoing everything that you progressed and undoing everybody's character development. And I really like that PARANORMASIGHT sticks the landing.
I think you would really not like Nier Automata then. Because
Nier Automata is great.
It's another Square Enix game, and the thing about that game is that you go through all those branching paths, you go through those different storylines, you finish the game through the really difficult credit scene, and then you're greeted with some flavor text that's like, good job, you finally beat the game. Now, you know how hard that final credit scene was? You have the option to assist another player when they're doing that credit scene. To do that, though, you have to surrender your save file.
I feel like that's a little different, though, because that's more of like a meta thing. Like, what I'm talking about is... So, for lack of a better example, Life is Strange, the original. Life is Strange suffers from the problem where you go through all of these choices, you make all these decisions, you get to the big climax of the story. Everything in the game, depending on... So there's two endings. For lack of a better word, it's either save the cheerleader or save the world.
Okay.
You can pick whichever ending you want, and that's your canon. But if you go with save the world, it literally requires you to go back and undo everything that you have done prior, and the payoff is not worth it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually can think of a very specific game that had something along those lines. It is a game that I warned people about, and I actually spoiled the ending for, because this game is awful and no one should play it.
Okay, go on.
Which game?
So, one of my favorite games of all time was Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time.
Oh, I know this series.
Yes,
My
that
sibling used
trilogy.
to play this series all the time.
Yes, that trilogy. Like, there are some parts of it got its issues, but honestly, like, those games I really loved. And then they tried to reboot the series with, I think it's called like Prince of Persia 2006 or something like that. Whatever year it came out. And the game had a lot of problems with it. But the biggest problem came at the very, very end of the game. You've gone through the entire game to save the world and, like, undo a mistake you made. You've been going with your companion, who is, quite frankly, more competent than you.
Yes, as
Like,
is the case with Prince of Persia.
Well, in Prince of Persia, there's a trade-off. Like, there's actually balance to it. There are things you can do that she can't. It's like, she can help you get into spaces. You tend to handle a lot of the fighting while she's doing range stuff. It works. With this, she basically, every time you fall, she magically saves you. She can parkour just as well as you. What is the point of you?
Yeah.
But the thing is, it ends with her sacrificing herself to undo the summoning of this great evil. And and so it's like, oh no, your love interest died tragically doing this noble thing to save everybody. Your character then goes out, destroys these trees that you've grown to, like, do this anti-summoning thing, restarts the apocalypse, and brings his girlfriend back to life.
Oh my god.
Oh, Jesus, it's like Sonic 06, but worse.
Honestly, I've played Sonic 06. It made me less angry.
Is that the
Wow.
one? Is Sonic 06 the one where, like, all the humans look like they're from Final Fantasy, and then the Sonic
Yes.
characters are just
Yep.
Sonic?
Yes.
It's that one.
Oh.
Honestly, I beat that game. I played that entire game. It's better than the Prince of Persia remake attempt.
Wow.
Or reboot.
That's
Yeah.
saying 2006 was not a great year for video games.
I don't think it was the same year. I might have been thinking of the Sonic game. It's something like that, though. But yeah, like, I will give you a little bit more bullshit.
Okay.
That ending really pissed people off.
Okay.
And this was very early in the days of the concept of DLC and things like that.
Oh.
So they decided, hey, we're going to make DLC that actually ends this story.
Oh.
They charged for it full
Oh, no.
price.
Oh, bastards.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
like, that's just not good.
No.
Yeah, you agree, right? Ziggy just walked in and had things to say about that.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
He's like,
Tattle
that
had-
bullshit.
Yeah, Tattle had things to say about it too.
But yeah, no, that I have feelings about that game.
Yeah, no, oh man. I have positive feelings about Paranormasight though. This was
Yes.
a fun one to experience.
Nice transition back.
Yes. You're welcome.
No, I've had an absolute blast with Paranormasight. I really hope they do make more games. Like, I was also a little on the fence with it being Square Enix. I've not had the best experience with Square Enix games.
Really?
Well, mostly that's Final Fantasy, a series I just never connected with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, that is a sentiment that I can agree with. Apart from Kingdom Hearts, it has taken me a very long time to get into Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
I appreciate it for everything it's done for the art form.
Yeah.
But I did not become invested in Final Fantasy until Final Fantasy 14. Like that in my opinion is my ride or die for Final Fantasy now.
That's the MMO, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get the impression that there is a Final Fantasy game that a lot of Final Fantasy diehards are like, that's my ride or die. All the other games are like, meh, in comparison, but I will ride or die for this one.
You know, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I will say there is one thing in the Final Fantasy universe that I really got into, and those are their tactics games.
Ooh.
But that's kind of a different animal.
I've never played the tactics games. I love the art. I will say that about the Final Fantasy series is that I love the art for it. Including the first handful of games back when those were detailed watercolor paintings.
Oh
yeah. I find the art a little hit or miss, just in that sometimes the characters feel so heavily over-designed. I know exactly where a lot of my bias comes from. The game I put the most time into in the mainline Final Fantasy was Final Fantasy 13.
Oh, that's the game that I have heard a lot of people have things about.
Which one is 13?
13 is lightning and
okay.
It has one character design that I actually liked. And that was I'm blanking on the guy's name, but it's the dude with the chocobo in his afro.
Nice.
That guy rocks.
Yeah.
Everyone else I'm like, you guys just started drawing and couldn't stop.
Honestly, though, knowing what I know about the Final Fantasy series, it makes sense that the character designs are kind of overdone. Because the implication is that it's a fantasy series, but it's implied to be the final one in that particular narrative.
Oh, is that where the name comes from? I actually really like that.
Yeah,
and it makes it even dumber when they make sequel games.
Well,
Final Fantasy.
No, they don't really do sequel games. Part of the reason that there's 8, 9, and 10 is that they're not set in technically the same universe. They're different. They're different universes.
Yeah,
but
there's connecting threads, but they all take place within their own continuity.
Yes.
But I thought there were exceptions I mentioned 13. 13 has had 3 games.
Well, there is also Final Fantasy X-2, but I think X-2 is more a spin-off that follows 3 particular characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this? That's why.
But the original intent with Final Fantasy was that when they first came up with it, it was yes, this is a fantasy. This is the final narrative, or the final story within this universe.
That honestly is a really cool idea. I didn't know that was the meaning behind the name.
Yeah, so, that was the original intent, which makes a lot of the Final Fantasy games make a bit more sense. Especially 7.
That's actually interesting that you bring that up because, fun fact about Final Fantasy 14, when it first came out, the MMO did not do well. They actually were going to shut down the servers. But instead they hired a bunch of new writers who wanted to preserve the game. But they were we need to just start from scratch. We need to rebuild this from the ground up. But they didn't want to discard all the work that people put into their characters. So they staged an in-game apocalypse the day that the servers were going to shut down. Yeah. And the implication is that because of the players who stayed and fought during that event, they became the legends that set the standard going forward for the new server. And that's why you can play the game. It's they stayed and fought so that there would be a future for people who came after. And I'm that is so cool. I love that.
That is a cool idea.
And you can actually go on YouTube and watch the server, the day that the original server shut down. It is insanity.
I will say, going back to what Kelsey was talking about with the ending of Nier Automata, that's basically how I felt taking that ending. Watching it, they have a whole deletion process with when you give up your save to help somebody else. But the feeling of what I'm doing now will help people in the future, especially because it's so obvious that so many people helped me get to that point.
Yeah.
Like, that was really powerful. I actually love that moment.
Yeah, no, it was great.
It's definitely a gut punch.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of, that gives me Undertale vibes.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like, the concept of playing with your save file, but with the intent of, like, it's not 100% undoing your progress, it's undoing your progress for a purpose.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will admit, I said no the first time, went back, finished everything I wanted to do, and then did it.
Honestly, fair.
Yeah.